One greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you for joining me. Happy Saturday to the viewing audience. Thank you for those who are in the chat. Mary, Jackie, Skylar, Beach Lady. Thank you all so much for joining this live stream. This is a very important live stream because a young lady is no longer alive because of the company she chose a few weeks ago to go to Mexico to allegedly celebrate someone's birthday, and she did not return. Hello, birthday. Hello, Mary. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you. I want to address something pertaining to my community page. When I post things to my community page, it is of interest to me. And I also post it in hopes that it will be of interest to you. You do not have to like the content that is posted. And if you don't like the content, you don't have to reply. Let me make that clear. You can't be interested in true crime, but don't want to know why someone kills someone. It makes no logical sense. Because you can't have one without the other. I post that poll, plural, polls to ask the obvious. Because people are dying every day by gun violence, knives, beat to death, strangled. So I want to talk and engage with people about various topics such as true crime, murder. So when I ask you a question, you don't have to respond. It is your choice to respond to the poll. You could just keep on moving. Let me make that clear. My earlier topic was pertaining to Mr. Bing out of Virginia who killed his associates at his job at Walmart. So I wanted an honest assessment from people to give me their opinion, how they feel about murder. Have they ever been close to harming someone, thought of harming someone? It was an honest question, and some of you replied. That was the purpose of the poll. Because every day people are dying. And the one thing they're not getting is obvious validation. So how are you going to learn about the human mind, the human spirit, if you don't ask? Why did you do that? How long have you been thinking about that? How long have you been thinking about killing someone? Why did you kill him, her? It's a real question because death is real. And if you cannot handle this type of commentary, don't reply. My content isn't for everyone. And I make no excuses about the content I post to Everyday Shenanigans, either by the community page or this channel, live or uploaded content. Bypass it. Bypass it. If you like to participate in the polls on my community page, feel free to go over and answer. Or read the commentary. People have replied. It's up to you. It's not life or death that you take the poll. But don't ask me why I'm asking the questions. Why not? Why not ask? Have you ever thought about hurting someone? Have you ever thought about killing someone? Because death is real. And maybe perhaps had someone talked to these things out here, these other people would be alive today. Had somebody said to someone, hey, you don't look well today. Hey, you don't sound well today. Hey, why are you talking like that? Hey, you need to go get help. Hey, have you been taking your meds? That's real. I don't sugarcoat anything on this network. And I don't make any apologies for the content. You either want to watch it or you don't. It is a choice. But I don't need no critiquing about the content because death is real. And these people are not coming back. So perhaps had somebody been in tune to these people out here who are murdering people, maybe we wouldn't have the victims we have today. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be an in-depth discussion about Shanquella Robinson, 25, no longer alive. She was sleeping with the enemies and did not know it. I'm going to play 2 audios. The link will be dropped. Feel free to come up and hit the link if you have something viable to say pertaining to the death of this young lady. Why did they do it? What was the motive? Why did they watch? Why did they film? What were they doing when she was dwindling down to her death? That is the topic for this discussion. Yes, I make you think. That is why I ask those questions on the poll. You don't have to like them. As I said, don't respond. Everything isn't for you. Now let's get on down to business. Shanquella Robinson, prayers to the family. Why did those demons do what they did to her? Why did they watch? Was this a setup? Was she lured there, or was it her idea to go there? Rumors about her paying for the trip. What happened? How did it come to be? I've told you before, know the signs when you are in the wrong company. Sign number 1, slick talk. Slide commentary, remove yourself. Don't sit around and wait for the bang. Remove yourself. Slick talk in the text messages. Slick talk on the phone. Slick talk, period. Remove yourself. Don't engage. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Lord have mercy. I'm trying to get this out of here. This is ridiculous. Sorry about that, you guys. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Heed the warnings. Slick talk is the first sign of infiltration, betrayal, constant criticism. Remove yourself. Do not become a Shanquella Robinson, because I got a feeling there were signs all along, and perhaps she was the type, she overlooked things and people. Because I don't think these people popped off on that trip. Because you just don't wake up getting a group of people to watch the demise of a human being. You already had these qualities before you went to Mexico. That's the scary part of the story. These people were this way before they went to Mexico. Stay woke. This is no accident. You had these fucked up ways before you went down there, and you turned on that girl for whatever reason, and all of you participated. And you waited to the last minute to decide to render aid in the final hour, but it was too late because the body was already breaking down. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $began to 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during this live. Let's get this commentary started. Thank you so much for joining me. Please take the polls on my channel if you would like to engage. Join me tomorrow for a Crime Vault segment. The topic will be Theodore Bundy. That will be the discussion tomorrow on Crime Vault. Please join me Sunday. Movie of the week, Squatters, now playing on Tubi. Good Morning America, source number 1. Thank you so much for joining me. Good evening, you mean, Miss Jenny?
An acquaintance at a luxury resort. They're looking to extradite the suspect to face charges. ABC's Doreen Shaw joins us with more as that woman still hasn't been named. Doreen, good morning. Hey, good morning, Janae. A 25-year-old went down to Mexico with some friends to celebrate someone's birthday. And just one day into that vacation, she turned up dead. And now officials have another big problem on their hands. Their prime suspect is no longer in the country. This morning, a potential legal limbo as Mexican prosecutors seek to extradite an acquaintance of Shanquella Robinson, the North Carolina woman found dead while vacationing in Mexico. Authorities are not currently naming her, but say she is a direct aggressor against the 25-year-old after a video online, too violent to show, reveals Robinson assaulted in her hotel room. Mexican authorities issuing an arrest warrant for that acquaintance, now back in America, for the crime of femicide, the act of killing a woman based on her gender.
On the one hand, the U.S. government is going to take this seriously, and on the other hand, it's not obligated to turn her over.
On October 29th, local police reports state that a Baja Resort town guest told medical staff around 2 in the afternoon that Robinson had drunk a lot of alcohol, a doctor determining she was stable but dehydrated, adding Robinson's acquaintances refused to send her to the hospital. The police report stating the Charlotte native went into cardiac arrest, declared dead by 6 p.m. But an autopsy differing from that report, stating medical officials arrived before 3 p.m., quickly declaring Robinson dead from severe spinal cord injury and a dislocated neck. Robinson's family wants answers.
I'm just waiting on that day when someone can be arrested. That's all I'm waiting on.
As for those contradictions, Dan Abrams tells us that can happen when you have different officials looking into the same case, but that can be problematic for prosecutors. Janae?
So many unanswered questions, Doreen. Thank you. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin.
Good morning, America. It's the source. The culprit has not been named. There are many rumors circulating pertaining to these people going live once returning to the United States. One person has alleged on their channel that there were 3 people that took licks to the victim. So what is the time span of the actual attacks? How many people hit the victim? What is the time span of the attacks? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour? What is the hour that the alleged nurse practitioner doctor came on the scene? I find you also as a problem because why are you sitting with a victim for almost 4 hours? If you are a professional, you should have known that she was not well, incoherent, couldn't speak, allegedly drunk. So why didn't you call 911 yourself? Why are you listening to a bunch of mutts telling you, no, don't call? You should have known then that something was wrong with the fact that they didn't want to have her go to the hospital. Because you're the professional. You should have known better. Something was wrong with the victim. So that's why I'm wondering, what hour did this woman actually show up on the scene? How many times was she hit? How many people hit her? So that means the spine was already ruined at the time that this woman allegedly came on the scene as the doctor, professional. So I'm going to ask the question again. How many people hit the victim? What was the time span of being assaulted? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour? What do we say? As you hear, the autopsy is conflicting to what they are saying happened to the victim. They said she had alcohol poisoning. Naturally, they're going to say that because they know that they assaulted her. They knew that once she got medical treatment, a real doctor would have seen that the woman was beat up. The father said when he got his daughter home, she had a knot on her head, swollen eye, and bleed the lips, cut on her lip. So she was beat up. So you all did more than just get your friend drunk, or she got herself drunk, so you say. And the autopsy says she did not die of alcohol poisoning. I won't doubt that possibly she did have something to drink because they're on vacation. Why not? But that's not what she died from. And I'm going to go on a limb and say she possibly did have alcohol and it didn't help being beat up. Because you can't react and your defenses are down if you've been drinking. And then now you're breaking bones inside of the body. Well, now the body can't maneuver because what's sufficient to keep the body upright is no longer working, such as your spinal cord, your neck. What happened down there? Why did you all attack this woman? Why did you wait 5 days to put out the video? I'm curious. Oh my, am I curious. You all like going live. Come holler at the queen. Because what bothers me about this story is, could this woman have gotten up at some point and ran for help? Why didn't she try to get up? Or was it the first few blows she couldn't get up? We don't know, because who's going to tell the truth? If she could walk or not. Was she able to walk after the first physical assault? If she could walk, why didn't she run out of there, crawl out of there? But then we have to ask ourselves, if she could, would they have allowed her to leave the room? That's why I'm asking, how long did the assault go on? And how many people participated? Because the rumor is now that it's 3 instead of 2. So we went from 1 assaulter to 2 assaulters to now the allegation is 3. And the person who made the final call at 5 o'clock is a Miss Winter, who they have rumored you, Missy, to have also beat up the victim. Why? Because you can't say you were helping your friend fight her because she didn't fight back. From what the video clip shows, a very short 20-second clip. Calm down in the chat. I wasn't there, so I can't say what she could and could not do. That's why I'm asking, what is the timeline on the assaults? Because you're only getting a 20-second clip. So I don't know what she could and could not do. Because they're not showing it in real time what happened from start to finish. So there's a gap in who did what and how many times. They don't show the video of when the woman came to render aid. So that's why I'm asking these questions. At any point, was she able to try to crawl out of there to get help? What were they doing while she was in the floor on the first assault? Because you're talking about almost 4 hours. So what really happened? That's what I'm saying. So you don't really know what's the truth, because the video isn't from start to finish. So I have every right to ask. Was she able to crawl out of the room? Was she held down till the lady got there? Was the spinal cord broke on assault number 1? We don't know. That's why I'm asking. You don't know until you ask. It's not that I expect to get the truth. WSOC TV 9, source number 2 pertaining to Shanquella Robinson.
Robinson death investigation. In just the past 2 hours, ABC News confirmed that Mexican authorities issued an arrest warrant for one of her friends. Shanquella Robinson died under mysterious circumstances while on vacation with friends in Mexico last month. Friends first told her family that she died of alcohol poisoning, but the autopsy showed that she died of a broken neck and spine. Her family confirmed to Channel 9 that a video circulating showing a woman attacking Shanquella was in the group of friends who went with her to Cabo. And we're only showing a still picture from that video because it's disturbing to watch. Tonight, ABC News confirmed international authorities plan to charge one of Robinson's friends with femicide. They say that person was, quote, the direct aggressor. It is important to note the prosecutor did not name the friend, but did say it is an American. Robinson's mother told ABC News she just wants justice for her daughter.
So the way that they did her, beating her like that and making a video of it, that was so sad that so many people was there and they just stood there and watched and didn't even try to stop it.
And again tonight, ABC News spoke with Shanquella's mother about these breaking developments. And she said in part, quote, "That's what we've been waiting for someone to finally be held accountable and arrested. I just can't wait for justice to be served." And this is a case that we've been following closely here for you at Channel 9. To read more about the investigation into Shanquella's death or to watch any of our previous coverage, be sure to download our free WSOC TV app, or you can look on our website at WSOCTV.com.
All right, everybody, that's the said information. WSOC TV 9. This was uploaded 8 hours ago. I'd like to know what these bums were doing while she was where? Because we don't really know. Lying down, sitting upright, what? In one room, moved to another room, what? Did she stay in the same room the entire time from the first incident? See, you don't know. And this group is not about to tell anything, but I got a funky feeling you all are going to turn on one another because somebody has got to put the blame somewhere. And we have learned that when you have co-conspirators, people start to turn when they get scared. And so all that huffing and puffing you all were doing down there, watching and gaping, one of you is going to turn and probably has already turned. But in the end, you're still guilty because you were there. So I want to ask the ultimate question. How many people were in the room when the assault went down? Who released the video? If it went live, it was public. So different people that their friends of friends saw the actual video live stream. So naturally, people would share it. But my understanding, it didn't get out to 5 days afterwards, after the death. How many people assaulted Miss Robinson? Were all of the assaults in the same room? The first scene that when you see the first person approach her, was she ever able to get up from that spot at any point? Was she moved at any point? Anybody tried to help her? We hear one guy saying he held her, played soft music, which sounds absurd. So when did you do that, sir? Before the doctor came? Why are you, the other male, I believe it's a gay guy, why are you telling her, why are you not fighting back? Why should she be fighting? She's on vacation. Was that the whole plan? Somebody wanted to see what she was made of? Because I kind of got that feeling when that girl was fighting her. It was almost as if she was testing her to see if she was the type that would fight. So I'd like to know, how do you all go from talking about bathing suits? See, you don't even know the sequence of the conversations. She's coming in a room talking about swimming naked. You all are talking about bathing suits. And the next thing we hear is some girl hitting on her. How do you go from one to the other? Please explain to me. All this live streaming, what the fuck happened? You all are arguing over a bathing suit? Who wants to swim, not swim? Is it because you all didn't want to swim naked? Was she too forceful in her conversation? Did you all feel threatened by a naked woman? I'm confused. What is the deal? Hit the link if you have an opinion pertaining to Shanquella Robinson and what happened in that villa, and why and what were these people doing in the less than 4 hours of the assault? Because you really don't even know what time this started. How about that? You're going by some people giving their cocked up version. Then there's a nurse or doctor that came in. Time of death, 5:57 p.m. from a start of 2:13 p.m. You really don't even know what's the truth. You don't know how many times she was assaulted. Did they film everybody assaulting her? What happened when the camera wasn't on? Is there somebody with actual footage from start to finish, but they haven't released all of it? See, you don't know. Because if you're sick enough to watch these people beat her up, you're probably sick enough to film it from start to finish. And Miss Winter, you realize you all had hurt her to the point that she was dwindling onto life, dwindling downward rather, that's when you decide to call 911. You're very brazen. Beat up a person, and then when you see they're not responding, call 911. So what the fuck were you all doing this whole time for almost 4 hours? I want to know. What were you doing? Was she in the same place? Attack number one. How many of you put your hands on her? Did you drag her, move her, put her somewhere else? Where was she found when she died? Was she in the same room? Which one of you alley bats is going to tell the truth? What happened? So let's go with attacker number one. Did attacker number one injure the spine and the neck? Was she that strong to where those blows to the face, neck, whichsoever, injured her round one? Don't know. Round two, who's number two? Boxer number two, will you please stand up? How many of you took a lick to the victim? At what point was the neck fractured and the spinal cord fractured? Boxer number one, boxer number two, boxer number three. Hell, might be boxer 4 or 5. I don't know. I wasn't there. Because I know we're never going to get the truth from any of you all. And I think it's strange you release this video to the public once you get back days later, almost a week. Why? Why release it? That told the story that you all were fighting her. So that was stupid when you're sitting here trying to feed her mother and sister this cockamamie story that she drunk herself to death, but yet you release a video showing you beating her up. This shows how stupid you all are. Instead of 25-year-olds, you all are fucking 12-year-olds. But maybe you can think about all that when you're sitting in a Mexican jail, and you can really see how bad life can get. Because that's where you need to be, all of you. And the guy who was hanging around at the mom's house for 4 days and then you, poof, voila, disappeared. Well, someone in the chat said you disappeared when the autopsy came out, conflicting your drunk version of the victim. My. Who needs friends like these? Or as they say, who needs enemies when you have friends like these? Frenemies. Did Miss Robinson ever see signs that some of these people were not proper dough? Did she ignore any warning signs pertaining to any of these people? Hit the link if you have something you'd like to say. The link is in the chat. I said make the live worth my time. Make the live count. Hit the link. Sad that parents have to go to the news to seek justice for their child, a grown-up at that, because this female went out of town with some bum bitches and didn't return. So we're going to start from the beginning. Did she pay for all of these people on the trip? Did they pay their way there? Airline tickets to and fro. We hear that some didn't even have money back. I don't know if that's true or not. A lot of rumors circulating. I try not to do the rumor mill because it fuddles the circumstances. What happened? Now there are rumors that police stole her money, $17,000. Why on earth would she carry that much money to Mexico? That was very dangerous. Because here you are in a foreign land, can't trust the people you're with, so you know you can't trust the people there. And I already said that somebody would steal from her. I knew that as soon as I heard she died. That it'd probably be a maid, hotel staff, the people with her. Trust no one. Was this a planned trip to do her in? Or was she the orchestrator of the trip and then they decided to turn on her beforehand, or when they got there, or words were spoken and somebody just went ham, then somebody else decided to join in to throw in licks? What did she do so bad worth you beating her up, ma'am? Or are we talking about a sir? Because some people say you're transgendered. I don't know. I didn't see any pictures of anybody that looked transgendered. I don't know what the hell's going on. The one that was filming that told her, why aren't you fighting back? What the fuck is wrong with you? What type of friend are you to tell her, why aren't you fighting back? And it's the way you said it, so low, like you really didn't want to say that. Why aren't you fighting back? You're a straight P-U-S-S-Y. How about that? Why are you asking her why she should be fighting back? Why the fuck didn't you fight for her? How about that? You're filming. You want to be a videographer now? So what you should have done was put the phone down and fought for your friend. How about that? Why didn't you fight for your friend? Or better yet, put the phone down and intervene to break up the fight and say, hey, we ain't having this here. So we're talking about a sugarfoot watching, wanting to be a woman, couldn't wait to watch some women fight. Perhaps you were never her friend. For all I know, you go to the other one to fight her. I don't know, because I don't know none of you, but you're all nasty to me. Some nasty ass 25-year-olds. You're all a bum bitches. But let me tell you something. Where you're going, they might be a little rough around the neck and collarbone. They like to fight too. How about that? See, that's what I love about a bully. You think you're bad until you meet somebody badder. Bad English, but the truth. Because there's always somebody bigger and badder and stronger and faster and swifter. Especially in the fist department. Oh, yes. So all them licks you gave her that led to her death, well, guess what? There's somebody out there that's going to play those same games with you inside of the jail if you don't get beat up before you're apprehended, extradited to Mexico. Because there's some roughneck females out here and they fight and carry on like men. And I think it's time that you all meet those kind of gals with those rough ankles. I think it's time for you to get your turn. Because you do that. You do a good, swift ass whooping worse than what you gave Shanquella Robinson. You all are a party to a murder. And I do not know the motive for why you all started tag teaming this young lady, but it's childish and it's irresponsible and it's disgusting behavior to call yourself a female and or a woman to behave this way. There comes a point in life when you have to walk away. And whatever happened down there, if indeed it was a matter of words exchanged, you should have walked away, or you could have just told her, hey, I don't like what you said, blah, 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 keep it moving. But because you all were so barbaric and watching, we won't doubt that you planned and orchestrated this fight, because that's how it looks to some people, that it was orchestrated. Because you lied to the mother when you got back on American soil. And you had the nerve, sir, ma'am, whatever you want to call yourself, taking those same women that beat her up to the mother's house. How nice of you. But the autopsy said different. There's a difference in the autopsy saying she died 15 minutes from the injury, final injury, versus what they're saying by the doctor. Giving her CPR compressions, blah, blah, blah. So what's the truth? Did she die 15 minutes from the final blow? Because if that's true, then that means she was laying up in that villa dead for some time. And you're really not going to know because you don't know the timeline. Did they pay this doctor off? Some have questioned that once we found out that money was stolen from the victim. And then the fact that you all are allegedly college educated. Did all of you graduate from college? Because if so, now we're walking around with college educated bums, psychopaths. How worse can that be? Have a 4-year degree, but violent and female. And one's wanting to be a girl. And sir, you will never be a girl. How about that? I said that. Now go live stream what I said. And all this talking on Facebook Live. You all just killed a woman and you want to go live. I've never heard of such. It must be a new phenomenon. Hell yeah, we helped kill her. Now let's go live. Let me go explain what happened. I wouldn't even engage in listening to what you had to say because you were there and you didn't intervene with the fighting. So what do you have to say to Facebook Live once back on American soil? Makes no logical sense. Always a pussyfoot on scene and want to be a girl. I love it. Want to walk around with nails and makeup on. Wishing they had it for JJ, but can't. I won't doubt that you're probably one of the orchestrators of the fight. You're mad and jealous because you're not a woman. You're mad that this girl is doing well for herself. Possibly the one that planned the trip, paid for the trip. You are mad. Jealous. I'm not really a woman. I want to be a woman. All these bitches walking around here looking pretty. They got real vaginas. Yeah, come for me. I'm that bitch you really want. Because I'm all woman at 51. No penis between my legs. Real breast and all. How about that? See, I know about your kind, and I'm going to say it on this live, and if I offend anybody, oh well. You see, a lot of men who walk around wanting to be women, they loathe women. They want to be a woman, but they loathe women at the same time because they can't be what they want to be. Mad at God because God didn't give them a vagina and a breasts. Well, he didn't want to give you that because if he did, he would have done so. So now you're walking around looking at all these pretty black girls swinging their hair and hair weave and eyelashes and fingernails, putting on makeup, being who they were born to be. You're sitting in the cut, pissed off, mad because you've got a ding-ding, feeling some type of way. So I think you all for watching your friend who's doing well for herself get beat up because you loathe women, yet you want to be a woman. And I'd like to see what you look like. Do you like to wear women's clothes? I'm curious. Very, very sad. This child had no idea that traveling with these fucking goons was going to get her dead. She had to be in a lot of pain, especially to have her spinal cord injured and neck injured. So that's why I asked, was she upright or lying down? Was she in the same room where she was accosted? Did they ever try to move the victim? How many people assaulted Shanquella Robinson? Very, very sad, pathetic. And how disturbing is it to hear parents on news broadcasts crying about their child, trying to figure out how their child was talking and breathing one day and dead the next? Thank you for the super sticker, sweetheart. Got to find a way to ship your child's body back. I brought you commentary with the father speaking about that. Having to pay to have his daughter shipped from Mexico back to North Carolina. That's not a cheap situation. No one should have to pay for their child to be shipped from one place to the other, especially out of the country. Hello, Oliver. Thank you so much, sweetheart. This is bad business. But this message is for you young people, because you all tend to have more strife in dealing with women. Some of us old heads, we get tangled up with trifling ass bats as well. And it's not to say that at 50 I can't be tussling with another female, of course, because lots of women, even my age, like to get jiggy. But you do have to stand your ground, because people will take advantage of you. But that's the flip side of it. You don't know how it's going to end, because many women have left here mangled up, cut up, stabbed with ice picks, razors, shot over nonsense, misunderstandings, quipping back. So I was asking the chat the other night, I wonder if Shanquella had altercations before with any of these people in this group while in North Carolina. If so, why did she agree to go on a trip with any of these participants? Who's going to tell the truth? Why would you all wait to go out of the country to do this devious deed to this young lady? And that would lead some of us to believe you all had ill feelings toward this woman in North Carolina. Because for it to get this serious to where she's dead, you had to watch her die. So I'm going to ask the question one more time. What were you all doing while she was hanging on to life? Talking on phones, live streaming, filming her, taunting her? What? Standing over? Ring around the roses? Did you all stand around her, hold hands like you're having a seance over the victim? Because I am curious to what the fuck you all were doing for nearly 4 hours. Because we don't really know what's the truth. And the doctor, you need your ass whipped, because you were stupid to sit there. If it's true, listening to these fucking people telling you, no, don't take her to the doctor. No, don't call 911. Were you scared of them? Or you saw that something wasn't right and you figured, oh yeah, they did something to her. I best keep my mouth closed in case I end up laying down on the floor with a broke back and neck. What did you see, ma'am, while you were allegedly there with the victim? I'm curious, because I'm starting to wonder if your version is the truth. What's the truth about the autopsy report, the 15-minute rule? Too much talking and not enough answers. What happened to Shanquella Robinson? Why did these nasty ass people turn on her? What was said down there in that villa to lead to different people physically assaulting her and she dying in a foreign land by people that were allegedly her friends and or acquaintances? Well, why would somebody be doing it for fame? What kind of fame are you going to get if you're locked up? And this is not like killing a rapper, which that makes no sense either. You shoot a rapper and you want to what? Die in prison for killing a rapper. Very sick. This is just hideous, what has happened. And these people are going to say anything to cover up the fact that they stood there and engaged in this barbaric behavior and did not try to save this woman, which leads us to believe they never cared for her. They never cared for her. And they had ill feelings about her before going to Mexico. That's obvious. And I don't understand the purpose of standing around watching, filming, not intervening, and or stealing her belongings, monies, and coming back, lying to her mother and sister, and then releasing the video and then speaking on live streams. For what reason? So this goes to show you all are empty inside. You have no regard for human life. You have no respect for self. And the sad part is you all were walking around perpetrating, pretending to be human. Just robots. Emulating human beings. This is why I don't like going in people's houses. I don't like going to parties in people's houses, personal. I don't like going in places I'm not familiar with strangers. Because the thing I've learned in living in a small place, you can show up somewhere and 9 times out of 10, you're going to be in a room with somebody you do not care for. And what are you going to do if somebody decides to get jiggy in the room? Starts talking smack, bringing up old shit. Now you're sitting there trying to figure out what you're going to do. And God forbid, whoever you're visiting, they ain't got your back. That is the very reason why I don't do house parties. I do not. Don't invite me because I ain't going. Because I know how shit can jump off. And don't think a person won't try to hold you back from removing yourself from the room, because they will. No, talk it out. Work it out. There'll be somebody that will put their hands on you and tell you, no, don't leave, don't go. Let her say what she got to say, blah, blah, blah. Because they want to fight. They want to see you fight somebody. That's why I said that thing, pretending to be a man, he was all for the fight. Pretending, well, you fight back. That's why he was whispering when he said it. He was down for it. I will be out for blood too. Now, this is when one could say vigilante justice is needed. This is a very macabre story, because we just had 3 Black people die in Mexico under very questionable circumstances. And this young lady travels down there with people allegedly she knew of, were friends with, and now she's no longer alive. So Mexico has a very dirty omen. And I wouldn't carry a dog down there. As I would tell somebody, I haven't lost anything in Mexico. Because frankly, if I can't drink the damn water, I don't need to be there. How about that? I don't think we will know the truth. Because why are you going to get the truth from the same people that watched her die? Stay woke. You can't expect the truth and the people watched her die. Never intervened when the people were fighting and beating up on her. Some will question why she didn't try to fight back. I don't know. But this is macabre. To be a young person, college educated, doing well for yourself, and to die in a foreign land by people you thought were your friends. She was probably in a daze, especially if she was drunk and all of a sudden getting hit on the floor. She was probably trying to gather her senses. Well, that's why I said I won't doubt that she had been drinking. People like to argue, oh, she didn't die of alcohol poisoning. Alcohol poisoning and drinking are two different things. Why would she not be drinking? She's on a trip. So I would expect she was drinking. But allegedly, that's not what she died from. You have to know the difference. But that's the whole point. Your defenses and your body is going to maneuver different if you're under the influence of alcohol, and then you're also being beat up. And then your bones are broken. The alcohol surely is not going to help. Then naturally you can fall, hurt yourself, and die without any alcohol in your body. So this is why I want to know how many people assaulted her. Did it all take place in the same room? What was the motive? What was the jump off to the initial fighting of her? Was it just to see if she could fight? What was said to the victim at the beginning of blow number one? Why did others jump in when they saw she did not fight? Was this orchestrated at the time of the trip? Before the trip? And how was she going to maneuver with these people? Has she lived? I asked that question the other day. There's no way she could feel safe being on a trip with people jumping on her. I told myself that if indeed this girl could have gotten up, she should have ran out of there, went to the security box, told them what happened, got the police involved, and asked that everybody be removed from the villa. That's what I would have done. Ran out of there, asked for security, and told them I want everybody out of the fucking house. ASAP. Because I'm trying to figure out, had she lived, how was that going to work, her staying in the same villa with these people who just jumped her? And I don't think a lot of you even thought about that. How was the trip going to commence had she survived? I don't know. That's why I said what was going on before she got on the plane. What was the vibe when they landed? What was the conversations like up until the first blow? What was said out of the way? Was there an argument beforehand? What was said? See, you don't get that. You just get some dusty thing filming. That's it. Then allegedly there's another video supposedly with the other winter girl assaulting her. I don't even know if I've actually seen the whole fight. If that's all that's to it, I don't know. Maybe they were high and drunk. People get stupid when they drink or get high. Yes, we know that. That's why I said some people can't drink. And some people get jiggy when they drink. They want to test people. They like to, push, shove, bump into them. And I kind of felt like that's what was going on. Let me see what she's made of. Because that's the vibe I got watching that brief part of that video. It was almost like she was saying, you know, come on, come on, come on. And the girl didn't want to fight back. Well, she should have asked for something that she was able to get up. But see, we do not know the sequence of the videos and the timeline, because if we're to believe 213 was the start, 557 was the end, at what point was she incapacitated and could not move? So you don't even know what's the truth. Because you can't depend on these people to tell you the truth. Because when you see the girl hitting her at first, she is sitting upright. She wasn't lying down. She was naked. So at what point was she not able to move? So this is so barbaric to me. I don't know. Just very, very sad. All I want to know is anybody going to tell the truth of what happened down there? When are they going to release the name of the girl who they have the warrant against? I think it's time that you all mention her name and tell her name. There's no need in sugarcoating it. And there should be other arrests of anybody else that participated in assaulting Miss Robinson. That is the right thing to do. No need in sugarcoating it now. Just tell whose name is on the warrant. And if you're going to arrest anybody else, announce their names as well. Well, I believe she was trying to go swim, because in the first video you hear her saying, hey, you know, where are you all at? Y'all ready to get naked or something like that. So I guess she was trying to skinny dip or something. I don't know. Well, Legs, how do you know she wasn't drunk? I can't see them giving all that money. I can't see that. Because if you're willing to not help your friend fight, I can't see you giving all her money to no police. I doubt that. That's why I said all these little rumors about that money, this doctor's assertion of what happened, it's all, I don't trust any of it at this moment. Well, that's why I said what I said. What's the truth to the doctor, the time the doctor got there, what the doctor allegedly did, what's the truth? Because the autopsy says she died 15 minutes from the injury versus this woman saying she was there for hours fooling with the victim. And I told myself that didn't even sound right. Why would I be with somebody for almost 4 hours and they look like they need medical care? That means I'm not doing due diligence on the oath that I took. I'm not going to sit around in a villa for almost 4 hours with somebody that's barely hanging on to life. That makes no sense. Okay, I don't have time for this. I don't need anybody questioning me in my own fucking chat. Because one, I wasn't there. So I don't know who's telling the truth about anything. This is a foreign country where they kill women every day. So I don't believe nothing of what's been said about her. Because they don't care about their own. So what the fuck would they care about some black people coming down there fighting each other and killing each other? They wouldn't. So I don't believe anything that happened down there. All I know is she went down there and she came back, shipped back. So I don't believe anything that was said. Deborah, I don't know. If you have an opinion, hit the link. See, I don't know what's the truth. I won't doubt that they stole the money. That's why I said, there's no way I'm going to sit here and believe they gave a doctor $17,000. There's always more to the story. Hello.
Hi, Queen.
Where you calling from, honey?
I'm calling from Tyson, Missouri.
All right.
I just wanted to because as soon as I seen this case the other day, I think it was 5 days in before I run up on it and got to looking at it. It's consumed my energy, is what it has done here lately. A little bit more than the Idaho 4 has, to be honest. But the reason it has struck me so hard is because, for one, those were supposed to be her friends, and two, why did this happen when they went to Mexico? Why, if they had a vengeance against her or whatever, because supposedly, I'm sure you heard it or whatever, where she had told on somebody or something.
Nope.
Why would they? Yeah, there's a rumor that, well, it's not a rumor, it's on TikTok and all the other, and Reddit and all that. But supposedly Shanquella had told on somebody who was in relation with, not in relation, but related to the on the trip, somebody that was on the trip. She had told on somebody, basically.
And what do you mean? Wait, slow down. But is this illegal talk you're talking about, honey?
Well, yes and no. Street stuff, for real, basically.
So what I want to know is, did she pay for the entire trip? Because I refuse to believe she paid for all these people to go on a trip. Do you know how much it would cost to go on a trip and pay for everybody? It's 6 or 7 people.
A lot. I do not
That's
believe.
What I'm saying. And airline flights, you got to fly there. You got to fly back.
I don't believe that she paid for for the whole trip and stuff. But
no, I think they all went in the pot. I would assume they all went in the pot and put their money toward the villa.
They could have. I mean, I didn't even look at that theory. But that's a very good point, though, for real. But I do know that her family and stuff had said that she was, her mom and dad said she was a hairdresser and she was doing.
So that's why I'm trying to figure out, why in the world, too, would she take that much money? You don't take that kind of money. That's the worst place to take that, because they kidnap people down there.
Right. I mean, when I used to travel, I can't travel anymore because of my health and stuff. I wouldn't go nowhere with over $500.
That's too much money. That's too much. $17,000 in a country where they kill their own is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mexico will kill you for 2 pesos. Forget that big amount. They'll kill you.
Now, maybe $17,000 was on her debit card.
Yeah, because I think they had used it.
Huh?
I think that one of them had used her credit card or something other.
Yeah, but not 17 cash. I refuse to believe anybody taking 17 cash to Mexico. That don't even sound right to me.
Right.
It'd be that crazy. It's not like you're going to Paris where you're going to be going in fancy shops to buy, Gucci or Louis Vuitton or something like that. Mexico, everything's cheap. The American dollar is still high in Mexico. You wouldn't even need really $5,000 to spending money.
Like I said, I wouldn't even take that, $500 with me when I went on a trip just here in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Down there.
Well, I'd like to get more information on this alleged. Somebody in the chat was saying something a little while ago about somebody had died before the trip or somebody, but I was trying not to really pay attention to all that. He said, she said stuff.
Yeah, and that's, until I hear it from her parents or I see a police report with her, her statement in it or something like that, then I might believe it. But honest to God, truthfully, I feel like she had a good heart. She looked, prestigious. She looked like she was a decent girl. She's not one of these out here that just want to go out and do whatever the heck they want to do. She, she had her hairdresser license, so she was, educated.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just jealous of her or whatever.
Yeah.
And take her to, to go with her down there and have at
it. So let me ask you this. Do you believe they decided to set her up before they went on the trip?
That's been a thought in my mind. That has, because the way that girl was acting in the video where she was beating her.
Yeah.
When Shanquella at the end, slumped over there.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Come on, I'm tired of talking." Well, what were you talking about? Can we get a little bit more information on that?
That's what, see, I didn't hear that part, but that's why I said the video is not showing everything.
Yeah, I had to dig and dig and dig and search and search and search to find it. I think I took about 5 hours searching before I found one that was long enough that showed her there at the end.
So how long is the actual video that you saw?
The one I saw, I believe, is 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes, I believe.
I posted it on a 20-second clip from what they said. I don't know what's the truth.
Yeah, I posted it on my community tab and stuff. So, but I'll try to find it and email it to you if you want. Again,
somebody says if it wasn't premeditated, then what were they planning to do when she woke up? That's why I said, how was she going to maneuver with these people even if she had lived?
Right. She wouldn't have been able to, because whenever she slumped over there, that's what I was saying in the chat. That nurse, that the video I had watched on TikTok, it was a nurse who had been ER nurse and worked with spinal cord injuries.
Did you see a nurse? Did you see a nurse in the video?
No, I did not. But
okay, that's where the problem. That's where the problem is coming in. Was there an actual person there?
That I'm not sure, but I'm talking about on TikTok. This is some people talking about the case and stuff, and they actually had a lady on there that was a nurse who had dealt with spinal cord injuries, and she said that Shanquella was dead whenever she slumped over right there because the impact of her, neck getting broke like that. I mean, it's okay.
Possible. So we're to believe that she was. So we're to believe the autopsy that she died 15 minutes after the injury. Let's say the final blow.
That's about right.
Then what is this talk about this woman? And they're acting like the woman has been spoken to.
See, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that video of the actual nurse or whatever.
You're not going to see it. You're not going to see it because ain't nobody.
Probably because it ain't real.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Who officially have talked to the medical person? Because I brought commentary that she worked for a certain agency, so that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Who actually talked to her?
I'm not sure. I know her parents got, the another autopsy done on her, and it showed that it wasn't alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. But do you believe she was drinking?
I do believe she was drinking, yes.
Yeah.
But
I don't know arguing about that.
I know somebody from me I used to drink a lot, and my brother had alcohol poisoning whenever he was 18 years old. He didn't die from it. He didn't. What killed that girl, that baby, was getting slung around and beat like that. That's what killed her. I mean,
well, that's why I was saying, to be injured, you can die alone, even without any alcohol. But alcohol drinking does not help if you are injured.
Right.
I think most people know that.
They should know that.
And I don't know why people want to act like she couldn't have been drinking.
Well, I mean, if you think,
what's the purpose? Damn well those kids were drinking. Come on now.
Right. And one of the videos, I mean, the one where she's walking around saying it don't take that long to get naked. When she was one of those women. She did. I don't know if that's how she talks all the time, but I did detect a slight little slur, kind of, sort of. But I mean, they're in Mexico. They're on a vacation. That's what I said.
So why would everybody want to get their panties all in a knot if she had been drinking?
Right. Probably because they were saying that it was alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, but that don't mean she did not drink.
Right.
At all.
I get where you're coming from, Queen. I do.
Because people don't understand. They don't know how to comprehend basic English.
Right. It could be right there in black and white, picture, color, all things.
Who the hell's going to go way down there and not be drinking?
I know I would be drinking, and I don't drink.
That's what I'm saying.
I would if I went to Mexico. So
you went with the wrong people, man. I got a feeling she had to have seen signs these people weren't right, man. Something's off.
And I feel like too, I'm gonna find that video on my tab and stuff, and I probably got it saved in my stuff because I've been putting it on my Discord. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna send it to you and things like that. But at the beginning of that video, when she, is in there or whatever, she's just like looking at him like, I don't know. I guess because I can read body language a little bit. Mm-hmm. She had this vibe like, fuck, I'm fixing to probably either meet my maker or something. Because whenever he said, dang, Quella, ain't you going to fight back or something like that? Mm-hmm. You just hear in her voice like she knew she was defeated. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling that she, knew, that something bad was fixing to happen to her. But she just went ahead and embraced it.
But that's what I'm wondering, when she was sitting there, was she fully incapacitated at that time? Because you don't have the video in no sequence to know how many times she was hit before they were filming. You see what I'm saying? You don't really know.
Right. Are you talking about when she slumped over there at the end?
I think when she's sitting on the floor, at the girl had hit her while she was sitting down.
That's the end of the video. And when she walks off saying, "I'm tired of talking about it," like that, yeah, she from what I'm gathering, I take it that she was probably either already deceased at that moment or.
But I'm just saying, when you look at the way she was hitting her, does it look like in those few punches, it looked like she had broke somebody's neck?
It can be done, and I know this because I've had a fracture in my neck before. It can be done, and the way the girl was hitting her, I mean, she wasn't letting up on them hits. And I mean, there's rumor about her being a him or whatever. If that's true, you know he had some punches behind
it.
Listen,
but when they showed all their pictures on another channel, I didn't see any of them that looked transgender to me.
I didn't either. But now in that video, she was. I mean, I'm not meaning to be laughing. I get a little bit nervous sometimes when I come panel and stuff. But she did throw some manly punches. But then again, I know women that will fight like a man. But that's how they've been raised. You know, I fight like a man. I've had to fight men all my life, so I mean, yeah, it's I can see where they would, but that's just the YouTube, social media, internet rumor mill starting. So,
see, what I'm wondering is, how long was she actually assaulted? Because all that's going to matter versus what this lady is saying, who came to allegedly help.
Yeah. I want to find that out myself. Now you're gonna have my brain going. I'm gonna have to go back over them videos.
Because there's a difference. There's an argument between 15 minutes from the final injury versus this woman being there for hours.
Right.
So what is the truth? Because there's no way you could have been there for hours if the girl was already dead.
Right. I mean, you would have been able to know as soon as they got there.
Exactly. She wasn't breathing.
Because, I mean, you know, and automatically right there, now my history and my experience of working with nurses and stuff, I'm not a nurse or anything like that, but I did have a daughter-in-law who was the LPN before she was killed. I mean, you will see if somebody's breathing when you walk into a room. And I believe it was said that they took her out of the bed or whatever. That girl, and to debunk that.
Slow down. Who took her out of her bed?
There's been so many different things said, but I'm talking about, they talked about, you know, got her out of the bed to go fight or whatever, but I think they might be talking about where she's in that hammock, possibly. I don't know.
See, now you bringing up stuff. See, this is what I'm talking about.
You don't know about the hammock?
No, I don't.
So you ain't seen the video of where he walks over to her and she's laying in the hammock, sleeping, and he says, "We got our first dead body."
And who's in the hammock?
Shanquella. I guess that's how I say her name, Shanquella.
Okay, so I don't understand what you're saying. Who is he referencing that was dead?
Shanquella. It's a video of her in the hammock.
But listen to what you're saying. I don't understand what you're trying to say. What are you trying to say? She was dead in the hammock?
No, she was alive in the hammock. But what I'm saying is there's some talk also about where whenever, you know, after the fight or whatever, something like that.
Yeah. I'm confused.
You have not seen that video, though, about that?
Listen. I walk over to a hammock. Are you dead or alive?
I'm presuming alive.
Then why am I talking to you alive that you're dead?
See, I like you, Queen. I do. I like you.
Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense what you're saying.
No, it doesn't.
You're in the hammock alive, and I'm going to say we got mean past tense. You're already dead. Oh, God. Sure, I can't do this. Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's not right. I know that.
Where you calling from?
I'm calling from New York, New York. I'm calling from Harlem, Manhattan, okay?
Excuse me?
I'm calling from New York, New York, from Harlem, Manhattan, New York City.
Okay.
Okay. So Natasha, I agree with you. I saw her there laid out like that, but what I think is that they possibly slipped her something and he knew that it hit her at that moment because prior to her on the Harmony, she was alone in the water skinny dipping. But what led up to that is she was checking for them because they were supposed to be going skinny dipping together, right? So
Yeah.
when the video starts, you see her looking for them, like she's ready to go skinny dipping. So she's walking, where y'all at? It don't take that long to get naked. And I don't want to repeat it verbatim, but let's just follow through the video, right? So then you
Right.
see she gets to a certain part of an area of the villa and a space. It's a guy in front of her. It's like he's leading her to the death trap, right?
Right.
So
He
when
was
she
looking
gets,
out for her.
yeah, he was leading her to them, right? So when she gets there, you see Winter on the bed looks at her like in a kind of way like it wasn't welcoming. And I got that through the screen. And then she looks at that female, the one that was pounding her. She looks
Mm-hmm.
at her like, oh, wow. Like, it kind of like, do you see this? Like,
And they were all dressed.
Yeah, and then she looks back at Shanquella like, almost like, do you see her? Because they didn't know Shanquella was going to come through recording.
Right.
So they all were disturbed at that moment. And then it was another female standing there. So at that time when Shanquella came, to me, what it appeared is if they had no idea she was going to show up to that side of the villa. And on top of that, they didn't know she was going to have her video recording.
Right. Well,
They
see,
seemed startled.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but what Queen was saying a while ago also is the chronological, timeline of these videos are not in order because prior to her eating and things like that, there is that video of the guy walks over there and says, "We got our first dead body."
Okay, so all right, so I've seen a lot of the videos, and I just my assumption is, and what I can say my assumption is, because I'm just assuming. Do you remember the one where they had?
I know, because the way you're talking, we would think that you were there.
No, because I've seen so many.
Okay, but guess what? You don't really know the order of those videos, ma'am. Come on now.
No, I don't. But that's why I said my assumption.
Wow.
Because I'm assuming, right? I'm assuming based on the fact of when they all landed together, because they all came there at a certain time. So I'm going based on the timeline, and I'm going also based on the event that happened that was in the daytime when the woman was like pounding on her. That was clearly, you could see the sea. You could see that it was light. You could see that, you could say to yourself, well, maybe it was this time. But then again, when you're on a Caribbean island or whatever, you really don't know the time. Because you could say that could be the morning. It could actually be the evening. Right? So let's just say that. All right, so let's go with, let's say hypothetically she landed, right? They all landed, right? They did have a moment where they had food, right? And they had a chef. And we do know by her mother account, she called her mom and she told her mom, hey, we have a chef here and we're eating. So we could say that if she was dead within 24 hours after going, then that basically that time that she called her mom was Friday night when they had the chef. We can say that because it would make sense. Okay, another thing, let's just fast forward it up to the point where you were saying she was laying on a ham hock. This guy actually came up, her friend, and he was recording saying, we got a dead body. He was saying, we got a first body. And then he was like, first dead body. This is what he said. So in all actuality, we're saying to ourselves, well, it could have been a possibility. Was she hurt before that? Was it after that? Did they prop this in stages? To me, honestly, when she was laying on a hamper, it didn't look like she appeared to be. I mean, I don't work for a coroner's office, so I can't say if she was, deceased or not. It didn't appear that way to me. I think that after that, other things transpired. What I do believe in my whole heart of heart is that she was sleeping and she got startled in the morning. And I mean, I'm just going based on a lot of stuff that they said in the videos. I don't know. It's allegedly, but my overall assumption for this whole thing that has happened to this poor girl is that they set it up from day one and they staged it. And you got to know your circle. You got to know the people that you're around, you know, regardless to whatever. People could envy you. They could envy you from when you're in college, when you were a child. They see you're going places. They're stagnated in life. You know, you got to know who's around you. It's unfortunate, but I think that this situation is precedented situation. And I think that everybody's going to learn from this. I myself cried. I cried and it broke my heart because I look back in my life so many times I was set up and I was put in situations that things have happened to me. And I got to be honest about that. I cried and I was thanking the Heavenly Father, like, thank you, because I could have been her. And I think that what people are taking from this is hitting close to home. You got to watch the people around you, man. You got to watch them. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, are people waiting for me to speak?
Yeah.
Well, Natasha, what do you have to say about all that? Waitress, you know what? I'm not in the mood to babysit nobody in this chat. Y'all got me fucked up here. Don't disrespect my house. Y'all come in here acting gangster. I ain't with that shit. I'm trying to hold a decent adult conversation because nobody knows what happened down there but the people that were there. And those videos don't mean nothing because you don't even know the sequence of the filming. They waited 5 days before they sent them out. Don't you find that strange? And why would I put anything out knowing I was a party to a murder?
I do find that strange. And what I find strange also, like you said, is how did the videos get out and why are they out and who would put them out knowing that they all were part of something when they all came from somebody in the group. So yeah, that's a red flag.
They don't care. They don't care. I want to know, is the doctor real? That's what I'm curious about. Is the doctor real? And was she there those hours? Because it's conflicting with the autopsy report that the girl died 15 minutes after her spinal injury.
But didn't the guy say that recorded what he recorded that I just got here? And I was stroking her head and I put some of Walker's music on. I mean, that was, to me, I mean, first of all, we got to get to the airport. We got to get to find out what time these people landed. Did he land this time? And the thing is, if you're a medical doctor and you said that if your statement is that you asked them to transport the body to a hospital, that she needed that. Why do you even have to tell them that? Shouldn't you have stepped out and be like, excuse me, but you should have said, permiso, because you speak Spanish, escúcheme, and you step out of the door, abre la puerta, and you say, importate la policía, like you're going to start going in like you need it because that's your license. You took an oath, right? Why are you? But then another thing says maybe she got paid off. Maybe she got some coins. Yeah. Maybe she,
somebody came in the chat saying the police stole the money. So who stole the money? Was it actual cash or on the debit card? Because I can't see she took 17 cash. I don't believe that.
Well, she did. They said she did have cash on her. And the thing is, when you travel to these foreign countries, they allow you to take up to 10,000 in cash. So she could have had a bundle of cash on her. Like,
yeah, but I doubt it was 17. I don't think they would have allowed you to have that much cash on you.
No, not that much. You're right. No, you can't.
I would have never had that. I would have never had 10. The American dollar is higher, so you don't need that much money.
You don't. You're right. You don't need that. You don't. I just feel like it's inconsistent when it comes to the nurse. And I feel that the nurse, doctor, whoever it was, because we really don't know, if they made that decision to say, we need to take her to the hospital, that person, whoever it was, male, female entity, nurse, doctor, you should have not been deterred from that. And you could have stepped out of the scene and said, hold on. And you could have made the call. and you could have went to the front desk and you could have said, get the ambulance. Ahora.
That's why something's off with that person, because if you know your craft, you know something was wrong with her, whether you thought her neck was broke or not, you should have went up and dialed 911. You have to have a cell phone. I refuse to believe you there and don't have a cell phone. You could have dialed 911 right there. What are they going to do? Beat you up too? So they have two dead bodies slumped on top of each other?
No. But that's where it comes into play of the money. Because I could tell you this. I was in Dominican Republic a few years ago, and I was in a motorcycle accident. And I could tell you this. I literally had to nurse myself back to get myself together to get back to New York. And I could tell you all the games and the stuff people was playing, and it's all about money, money, money. It was a lot of stuff happening around that. And it's like, you don't know unless you're in it, but they're all in it for the money. So they don't want to transfer you to the hospital. They want money on the spot. And even if you were to get to the hospital.
Listen, that was a rumor I heard the other day, that first it was the ambulance wouldn't come. Then they changed it to this lady showed up. Then it was the lady asked them about taking her to get help. Then the people that the villa said no. See, it's too many versions. And when you have this many versions, you cannot believe nobody until it is confirmed. And when all these people are alone, if we're to believe that this woman ever showed up, you're never going to get the truth.
You're right. And do you remember recently, I don't know if you know, but recently, it was probably a few months ago, I would say, there was all right, so I would say early in the spring, there was African Americans that traveled to Mexico.
Yes, I heard.
And they were and one girl got shot. But the Mexican, the people told her, oh, no, we can't help her, like on the spot, like she don't have insurance or whatever. She didn't. It had to go through the red tape to even get her to the hospital. The ambulance put her out of the ambulance.
Three people that died mysteriously in Mexico.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, you do have the option when you travel to get insurance. So if something happens to you in a foreign country, you're insured. But it doesn't mean that they're going to take that and uphold that. The majority of the time when I was in DR, they wanted cash on the spot. They're not going to move you. They're not going to do nothing. They want the cash on the spot. And even when you get to the clinic or you get to the hospital, they want cash on the. First of all, you have to pay for your own blood. If you need transfusion, you got to pay for the blood and hope that you're getting the correct blood. So I say that to say this, like you said, we don't know what happened. No. I do agree with you. And we don't even know the timelines.
Yeah, I don't judge.
We don't know if anything is. You're right. We don't know. We don't. We don't know. We don't know.
Because if you watch somebody die that you're friends with, there's no way I'm getting ready to bank on anything pertaining to no video shown.
Yep. And my thing is, if they did this to her, why did they record it? And here's my question.
I got to record it. Come on now. This is the new day. These young people like.
Okay, but here's my thing. Who put it out? Because don't they know whoever put it out is the one that.
Listen, they went live.
I didn't know they were live.
I won't doubt. Why would I film it and not be live?
Are you serious?
Well, that's what young people do. You want me to believe they just uploaded it and waited 5 days?
Yes, that's what I thought. They uploaded it. So you telling me they were doing this in real time?
I'm assuming that it was live because I can't see you holding it.
Oh, shit.
Why would I press record and then wait 5 days to upload it to Facebook or TikTok?
So you're telling me they were that sinister to do it live?
But what I'm saying is, I don't know if they did it live, but most young people go live. So why would I think you wouldn't go live?
You're right, but that's
the purpose of what people do. What person do you know right now just filmed the video the regular way?
No, they don't. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh my!
Why would I want to upload it? And then why would I upload it to or to?
I'm shaking in my bones right now. I'm shaking.
Wait 5 days.
I'm doing a Harlem shake right now. I'm shaking in my bones. You said it's a possibility. It was this is just, it's even more sinister. It's even more sinister to go live. And he said, fight back, Shanquella. You know, you gonna fight back, Shanquella?
The video was probably already circulating before anybody got wind of what actually happened down there.
Wow.
The video was probably already circulating in all the friends of friends of friends.
They thought they were going to get away with this and say alcohol poisoning.
No. What they
No.
weren't betting on is that the Mexican officials would actually do an autopsy. That's what they were betting on.
What do you mean?
They weren't thinking they would do a proper autopsy. They know the stories about Mexico.
Oh,
They know the
yes.
stories about people dying and getting hurt.
Yeah,
They know the stories.
Mexico, all I hear is alcohol poisoning. And that shit was going on forever. People showing up at the hotels. They go to a swim up bar, and boom, they don't wake up. Shit, they fall asleep in the pool, or they go back to the room. And recently I've been hearing is also how do you call it? They were saying they ended up in an Airbnb, and then it was like gas or something that took them out. Like, that's what I've heard from seriously from Mexico. It's either alcohol poisoning or carbon monoxide poisoning. That's what you hear. That's what you hear. So
in the chat, what are you talking about? They brought up $5K for services, evil in and out of their souls. What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're saying. Well, that's why I said these kids are not dumb. They're college educated. They know how shit goes down in Mexico. They were not hoping that there would be an autopsy properly done. They knew what they were doing.
You're right. They didn't, and that a lot of people said that.
What kind of country they were in? They knew where they were.
Yeah, people said that, and I believe you, because they said that they thought that they were gonna get away with an easy catch in Mexico because they didn't know that they had the technology or whatever to go further.
So that's the whole purpose of filming it. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna show what we did, all right, and it's no big deal.
Yeah. That sounds about right. But now they're all on the run.
Somebody is saying the whole video is not complete, showing the complete video due to horrid nature of it. Yeah, probably so.
Do you know what I noticed? I noticed because in my mind, I'm like, if I was in that situation, what could I have done, right? So I'm thinking that in my mind. However, if you notice, that person that was attacking her stood their ground against the glass door, right? So that could have been an exit for her to get out of. But that person stood there. So she was opposite to that, where she couldn't escape. And I feel that the person recording and everybody else in that space, she was cornered in. She couldn't escape.
Well, when she was sitting on the floor, do you believe she couldn't move?
Yes, I believe she was paralyzed. Yep, because the person swung her around, her neck swung her around, flipped her around, boom, she dropped, and it started pounding her. I believe that's when she became paralyzed because she couldn't move.
That's why I need to see the whole video. That's
I don't think you want to see it. Please, don't.
Yeah, because I can't form an opinion properly without seeing it.
It's gut wrenching, and if you got any,
I don't think I've seen the whole video.
Yo, if you got sisters in your family, you're gonna want to do damage. You're gonna want to do damage because that I couldn't even. And he was like, "Shanquella hit back. You can't even fight back in a back, Shanquella." She was like, "No." She didn't want to fight. She was crying, saying no.
Well, let's go there then. Since everybody's got an opinion, why didn't you want to fight? Why not?
She didn't have nothing to fight for. She paid for the whole trip. They set her up. They did something to this girl.
That's your opinion. She didn't want to fight because she paid for the trip. That seems like to me that's more
my opinion. I don't know.
I paid for the trip. I paid for the trip. You treat me like this. Why you picking on me?
They said something about, well, I don't even want to mention it, but it was a lot of theories that was thrown out there based on things that people said. But her cousin did chime in and say something about the situation. Her cousin said that she called her and felt that something was uneasy. And the cousin was like, how she was correct. Something wasn't right. And they had a disagreement about wanting more in the villa. And she was like something about, I don't know. My whole thing is that something definitely took place. Something happened. We will never know. We weren't there. But to give her that beating the way this monster did, it was just, to me, even your worst enemy, damn, you don't beat them like that, especially somebody that doesn't want to fight back. You already punched them a couple of times. Walk away.
She said, I believe if she had fought back, all of them would have jumped her.
But that's what people are saying, that she did get jumped. They saying another female grabbed her by the neck and slammed her on the head. Like, it's a lot of stuff going out there. But my thing is that her father said that he saw all the bruising. He saw the bloodshot red eye, the busted lip, the thing on her head. Like, she really, like, they beat her to death. Whoever did it.
I played commentary yesterday where he said her lip was cut. Yep. And she had a swollen eye and a knot on her head. What the father said when he got her home. Well, I'm just curious to what happened. What was the altercation about? Why is this Winter girl being also the one that allegedly called at 5, but she's also the one they said allegedly hit her too. And then some other girl on another channel has a channel that really 3 hit her. So I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, there were 3 females there. And when she walked in the room and she was saying, "Why it don't take that long to get naked. It don't take that long to get naked." It was 3 females standing up there besides the guy that led her in the room. And she seemed like she was by herself. And she even, one of the so-called guy friends took a video of her skinny dipping by herself. And she wrote in her chat in Instagram, "By myself skinny dipping." So, and then you see, like, when they were all sitting down eating, she was on one side of the table. They all were on the opposite side, up to each other. Like,
well, obviously something was said or done once they touched down. It's got to be something.
Yep.
I'm not making excuses for what they did. I'm just saying something transpired. Somebody said something. It's something. I don't have to agree with what happened, but something happened.
Something definitely did. I don't know what happened, but I'm just sorry. Like, it's just sad in our community as our people that this is out here. It's out here because we say, Black Lives Matter. Does it really matter when you have a Black person in the same community that does it really matter?
Yeah, they're gonna eat with her because they're playing the role. That's why I said she had the sense that something was off with these people. If you're skinny dipping by yourself, you're eating on one side of the table. The signs were there. I just said that. Were the signs there before she even left?
You're right. You're right. You're right. You are right. I haven't
watched all these videos of people eating and all that. All I'm saying is the obvious. There are lots of times you see something is not right, but you tread forward anyway. Was she that type of chick? She went on any damn way.
That's what her friend says, that her real friends came out on QCB TV and they said that they feel so sad that she didn't know, she was not aware that those were not her real friends.
Obviously, the guy who's filming. I don't know if he's a gay guy or whatever. He's not a friend because why are you telling somebody to fight back? You see they're not trying to fight, so what's the purpose? You should have told that girl, "Hey, come on. We didn't come down here for this."
Yep. Facts. You're right. Like, if they tell you, if I go somewhere with anybody and somebody attacks me, my people gonna jump on. Like, it's not even going down like that. Like, I mean, I've been in situations and a chick is jealous and she try to and my dude jumped up like, "What? You better get up out of here." Like, what? I've had situations, and my dudes jump up. Like, it's not even about that. It's about the fact, like, they know, like, yo, we already know you, little troll. Get up out of here. Like, for him to just be like on the side of just the person, the aggressor, to dismantle her, like, they literally dismantled this woman.
But they're street thugs. That's what they are. College educated or not, they're street thugs.
But here's the thing.
And that's what a lot of people understand about young people. They always want to be tough and gangster, but they're punks.
Yeah, and the thing is, you could go to college with somebody, but that don't mean they came out with. Let me tell you something. The majority of people you go to school with, you do stuff with, guess what? They sad. They looking back. Oh shit! Look at what you doing now in your life. Look at where you at right now. And they hating. And they'll try to get you on Facebook. They'll try to get you on Instagram, get you on social media platform where they're like, "Oh, what's up? We could, oh my gosh, my nigga doing it. Yo, she doing it. You killing it." And meanwhile, they mad because they not doing it. They not doing what you doing. And it's some kind of hate. It's some kind of jealousy. It's some kind of envy.
Well, I just think it's sad that she didn't see the signs before she left. That's the job.
I mean, I think me and you are on the
And
same
6 or
page.
7 people in a house staying with each other. It's no different if it was your family or other people. Somebody's going to get an attitude about something. That's just the way it is. Somebody's going to not want to hear noise. Somebody's going to want to order something. Somebody's going to want to go here. This person don't want to go. Somebody's going to take too long getting dressed. That's all it takes for a jump off.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you this, like,
in one room.
She basically, like, her friend said, oh my gosh, like, her friend was crying on the news. Her friend said, I'm so sad that she didn't know that they weren't her friends. They weren't her friends. So that tells me, like, she thought that they were cool with her because she went to college with them at one point.
Yeah, that don't
but
mean
people
anything.
change. People change.
Well, and that's what people need to understand. From 25, they probably have only been out of school a few years. Yes, a lot can change in 3 or 4 years.
Yes, people change. And if you're doing X, Y, and Z, and then I mean, it depends on the person, heart, soul, and spirit. And apparently these people were just like evil. They saw her, she was popping. She had 3 businesses. They said that they took out PPP loans, and she was balling, and that they were just sitting there just festering in the fact, like, damn, why her and not us? And they conspired against her. They conspired to basically, like, you know, oh, let's take her. That's why they thought Mexico. And they were going to go based on alcohol poisoning, because for the last couple of years, that was going down. If they thought about, they could have taken her to DR, because that happened in DR too, where they had a moment where people, they were saying, oh, they got alcohol poison or whatever, and things were happening. But they picked Mexico. That's right there. I think it was premeditated, but I think they didn't think all the way out. They didn't think all the way out. Like, when you put 2 and 2 together, first of all, like you
So you want me to believe these people, whether she paid for the trip or not, or offered the trip, however it went, they said to themselves, we're going to go down here and beat up this girl.
No, I think that they had a plan to rob her and to do something to her, probably like fuck her up a little bit, but not kill her.
And then do what? Leave the villa? You weren't going to be able to stay?
I mean, well, according to what people
This is what I said. This is what I said to everybody. Imagine had she survived, how would the trip had turned out had she lived?
You're right.
How are you going to still stand around these people, sleep in the same place, act like nothing just happened, act like nobody just beat you up, and go back to normal? Something was going to have to give, even if she lived.
You're right.
There's no way she could have stayed in that villa with them. She would have had to remove herself or go tell the people they need to get the fuck out the villa.
And that's what she did. According to her friend, that she contacted, her friend said that she didn't feel right. Something was not right. And that they were arguing over toilet paper, and they were telling her to do X, Y, and Z. It was. What
do you mean? Telling her to do what?
It was through the grapevine. I don't know the logistics of it, but what I did hear was that there was a conversation that happened, and she was like, I'm not paying for this. And she called her friend.
So what are you saying? If somebody wanted, listen, somebody wanted something at the villa.
They wanted more amenities, right? And she's like, I'm not paying for it.
Well, it could be.
And they said she came out her face. She got slick with it, because remember, I don't know if you heard the video, but what's her name? Winter was saying, oh, me and my friends, that's how we do. We fight it out. So she was like, so Quella, she did some fuck shit and she had to fight it out. And that's what she said out of her mouth. And it's all over the internet.
Well, I ain't heard that. So what is this all over? An argument over somebody wanting something that the girl didn't want to pay for, allegedly?
She didn't want to fight.
No, I ain't say about fighting. That's about pay for something.
Yeah, So
that would be the reason, fight her because she don't want to spend her money.
But yeah, because they're mad because they don't got the money.
But you knew that going down there, a person wasn't going to spend their money for everything unless they told you that.
Maybe maybe the dude that was cool with Quella rocked them to sleep and told them, yeah, Quella got it. She got it.
Let's go here. The people that fought her weren't really her friends. They're friends of the guy filming.
Yeah, yes.
That's what I was wondering.
Yes, they're friends of him.
That's what she fucked up. That's what she fucked up. She should have never went on a trip with people who were not her real friends.
Facts.
I don't believe in going on trips with people. I had to tell somebody a few months ago, they wanted to take a trip out of town to New Orleans with some people from a place where we hung out. And I said, why are you wanting to go on a trip with these people? You really don't know them. And I had already been on a whack trip last year to New Orleans. There was no way I was getting ready to ever be in nobody's hotel room, car with another person on a trip. And I meant that, and I ain't done it since. I'm not going on a trip with nobody, especially not no fucking women.
And I'm going to tell you this, that happened to me. And I'm just going to tell you the truth because I don't give a shit. It has to be exposed. There was a woman working in the hospital where I worked back in 2017. Her and I got cool, and I thought she was a friend, and she invited me to a trip to Cuba. And she was like, oh, it's only from Thursday to Monday. It's a good deal. And I ran for it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And And she's like, but my girlfriends are coming. They're stationed in the UK. They were all Haitian, right? I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, whatever. So we meet up. Some of them meet us in Cuba. Some of them meet us at the airport, JFK. We fly out. Let me tell you something. When we got to the Airbnb in Cuba, shit started to get funny. When I got attention from, I'm West Indian, Nigerian, but it doesn't even matter at this point. I'm just being me, being myself, just being me freely. They were jealous about that. I was getting attention. They were jealous. They could get attention too, but I'm just a free spirit. So I'm just going to speak my mind and be like, yo, I'm just there. Like, all right, we're doing salsa. We're doing. They were introverts, and I'm the total opposite. But these women, let me tell you something. They made it so impossible. It got to the point where our driver, because you all got drivers. They have like the old cars in Cuba. The driver was said to me, ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué te pasa? I was like, yo no sé, pero ella el duro, ella es mucho grueso, yo no sé, pero he was like, yo, I cannot work like this. Like, what's going? He was even like, yo, you okay? Tú tranquilo, pero yo venga tu tuyo en la casa. Like, I'm gonna take you back to the Airbnb because I don't trust being out here. I don't like their energy. He wasn't feeling it. They were jealous of the fact that I was being me in Cuba, just being me. And I didn't know these women. I knew one girl that invited me, but that was my bad. Like you said, I should have never went because I didn't know none of her friends.
No, I don't advise
it. They all made it. My experience messed up, and I said never again. Never again.
Well, sadly, she had to learn the hard way.
You're right.
That's the gist of the story. Is she had to learn the hard way while dying. So that's why my question of this video is, and nobody's addressed it. You all have been talking, but y'all have not addressed the title of the video. Where was everybody at while she was dying? I'll wait.
Okay, you're right. I didn't hear that part, but that's a good question. I don't know how to answer that. I think that they all were basically trying to dress her up. That's
something that nobody's talking about. Everybody's talking about all this stuff. See, this is why I don't like talking about true crime, because everybody likes talking about all that he said, she said shit.
You're right.
What the fuck were they doing while she's dying?
But now they're trying to paint.
See, you don't really know when she died. It would have believed this nurse.
You're right. We don't know.
3 to 4 hour window. Then where the fuck was everybody at while she's hanging on to life?
And even the guy said he showed up at a time. He's clearly trying to give himself a timeline. But then why didn't you call somebody and say something? You stroking her here and playing Summer Walker? Nigga, you sound crazy. Your question I want to ask, where was everybody
this Pixie
when this woman was dying?
Who put clothes on her? Who said she had on clothes, Pixie?
He said that he made sure she was all right. He was stroking her head, and he made sure she was okay. But then he said
he put clothes on her. Some girl in the chat is now saying, who put clothes on her? I don't know anything about when she had clothes on her.
Well, obviously, somebody put clothes on her because she did not sleep with clothes on. So if you're touching the body, and she was decapitated from the inside out.
Pixie, you're all right. I'm just asking, was she naked all the way up until the woman showed up until going to the emergency room, or what?
Oh, we don't know that. We don't know that.
Listen, did she die at the emergency room or did she die at the villa?
You're right. And they said that apparently she died at the villa. because they said, according to the nurse or the doctor, she died at 5 something, whatever. She was there. They said that they administered this, administered that. No.
Which makes no sense. Who administers an IV at a fucking villa? See, this is bullshit.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing, but you're definitely making it make sense. Like somebody's lying.
Tim says they were rescheduling flights. See, because you were guilty. I'm surprised you motherfuckers didn't stay there. Why not stay? You're gonna kill somebody. Hell, live it on up to the time for you to get your ass and check your ass out of there.
And guess what? Apparently, they used her money, her credit card, to buy their tickets and rearrange it to come back to New York City.
Okay, but guess what? You got a round trip ticket. You could board. Listen to what you're saying now. You could jump on the plane anytime.
Okay.
If there's an available flight. You got round trip. Remember, stay woke.
Okay.
So, did these people not have a way back? Bingo.
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that.
See, that's why I don't listen to that.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's why I don't ever listen to the gospel.
Are you USCIS? Because you breaking this bitch down. You said
I will break it down.
Right.
I will break it down.
Did not.
That was the rumor. That was the rumor too. They didn't have a way back, so that led me to believe that she didn't pay for everything, because what fool is going to pay for tickets plus the villa plus the eating? All strangers. I don't even know.
Sense now. They probably didn't have a way back.
So that's probably what she told them. I'll book the villa, but you got to have a way there and back.
Yes. Yes. Yo, it's crazy. This is why, you know what? After me talking to you tonight, I really don't know where you're from or whatever, but I get a clarity right now.
Chicago.
I'm getting clarity. Like, it's not everything that I saw, everything that I heard. I cannot believe anything because it's not making sense. It's not adding up. How come nobody asked that question that you're asking and you're presenting? It's adding up, because guess what? They probably didn't have a way back. And she said, no, I'm not paying for it.
Let me tell you something. There's no way that girl booked this place and didn't set up either. People put their money in the pot for the villa, and or she booked the villa and you had to make sure you had spending money and your way there and back. I refuse to believe she paid for everything with a bunch of strangers. Who does that?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel they got her in the morning. I feel they attacked her in the morning when she was just not. And something tells me they slipped something in the drink. They slipped her something. Something's telling me like he knew. The dude that was recording her saying, oh, we got a buddy. He knew when she passed out that whatever he slipped in her drink, it was working. They probably meant for her to be passed out, meant for her to be twisted. She could wake up somewhere and they all gone like, oh, Quella, something happened to you or whatever. And they run off with her shit and they do whatever they do to her. They did not think that this would be as big as it is. I don't believe they did. I believe that they would never think in a million years that whatever plot they planned for her would turn into this. And it's international. And it's through the Interpol. So everybody national through the Interpol are there. First of all, their passports got canceled. So they're done. It's just, where are they at? Why aren't they detained? Why doesn't anyone know where they're at right now? And that's a question that
the FBI is now involved. They know exactly where these motherfuckers are because they ain't hit no shit and they ain't got nowhere to hide. They are not descendants of John Gotti. So believe me, they will be ascertained.
Wow.
There's no way I believe FBI don't know where they are.
Yeah, they said that a lot of their phones are disconnected.
Guess what? All I gotta know is the number you had and know the carrier. I got your ass.
How can they find them when they disconnected their phone carriers and they're
I am the FBI.
Wow.
I am the FBI. The FBI has people that do different things, such as the person that gathers the information, that dumps the phones. It is not going to matter about you fucking disconnecting nothing.
Oh, so even though they disconnected their phone,
everything is recorded in your phone. Doesn't matter. That's why they dump it.
wow.
Don't matter about the phone being on, off, got a code, got this. That shit don't mean nothing. So for all those that's walking around thinking you got some hot shit because you got an Apple phone, well, commit a crime and see how quick somebody gets in that damn phone. There you have it.
I don't, this was a sloppy type of thing. I feel like they had a vendetta. They want the way that girl was hitting her. It was something like, it was just it was like she had a prolonged type of hate, and she wanted to.
She may have.
I mean, those blows were out of this world. It's like, damn.
Well,
I've seen
and what she needs, and what she and all of them need that hit her, all of them, frankly, together, all of them need to have their asses whooped.
Yeah, in a Mexican jail. Oh, they got to go back to Mexico and see what it is, what it's about.
So imagine forfeiting your freedom for whatever you tried to do down there in Mexico, whatever plan was orchestrated, not orchestrated, however it went down. Imagine ending your life in a Mexican jail.
Nah, hell no. No, you're going to be begging to go back to New York City. You're going to be begging because you get three hots in a cot, right? In Mexican jail, yo, they fucking, come on. It's no comparison to American society. It is brutal. Like they will, you know what? They're going to bury you. Just the fact that you put that stamp on the on the Mexican
Jennifer, how you know they had tickets home? If they adjusted the date, they would be charged to the same card. Well,
you messing up the Mexican
tourism. I don't believe that, because I had, when I came out of New Orleans, I didn't take the flight back that I was supposed to take back, and nobody questioned me about charging no card or nothing. I caught the next flight back to Tennessee, and they never said, well, this is getting ready to be charged to somebody's flight, because it was a round trip.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, in Mexico,
I just left earlier that day. I didn't leave at the same time that day, but I left earlier that day. They never said anything about charging anybody's card.
Yeah, but this situation is this is definitely disrupting Mexican tourism.
Only one warrant has been issued for one of the females. They refuse to give out her name.
Let me tell you something. This Mexican tourism situation is not a game. It's not a game, because they start losing money. It's all tied in. Listen, they're going to make her an example. They're going to make her or whoever an example. They need to get them all back there. They need to get them all back there, because they all are a part of this.
Well,
even if they had one warrant, you know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna let justice do what it do, because that was wicked and brutal what they did.
Where they messed up was doing whatever they did to her, filming it. That's where they seal their own fate. And they're all going to turn on each other, because everybody is going to say they was outside playing golf, doing this, laying by the pool. Who's going to say, yeah, I sat there and watched her get beat up and die? Nobody.
Oh, yeah, but guess what? Do you know that that property has cameras? So they'll be able to tell the time of death. They'll be able to tell X, Y, Z. It's cameras there on that property, and they're mad because now they're not getting money. They're not getting anybody coming there based on you want to say, I'm gonna call it like they're gonna call it. These black niggas.
There'll still be people that go down there. First thing people say is, well, this isn't going to apply to us because my friends wouldn't do this to me. That's what people say. They'll still go to Mexico.
Okay, but you see, the Mexican government, these black niggas came down here and made this, like they fucking tainted us in the Cabo. So when they think about Cabo, they're gonna think about these black. Like, I'm just saying, I'll call it what it is. Mexicans, they don't like black people. They don't like African Americans. They don't even like the black Mexicans that are there. So to have some scandal go down there, and like these black Americans come out here and cause this in our country, They got a vendetta. They got a fuck.
Well, Mexico, listen, nobody gives a fuck what Mexico is thinking right about now because Mexico don't like their own damn people. They kill people.
Mm-hmm.
The cartel kills people. The police are dirty. So let me tell you something. The FBI is involved. I pray that they're going to follow through to the highest extent of the law and praying that the California jurisdiction will uphold everything and they will do what they need to do to arrest everybody involved that was there. If that means subpoenaing you to court, whichsoever, however it goes.
It's crazy, but they're not getting out of this one. If they thought they planned it right, they planned it wrong. This shit blew up.
The sad part is if indeed these people had a plan before leaving North Carolina. And my thing is, who's going to admit, yeah, we planned before leaving the states to do harm to this young lady? So I'm going to ask the question to the chat. What were they doing while the lady was clinging to life?
Oh, shit, you're right. And why don't we have that answer? Because I want to know that. Were they propping her up? Like, because if
that's what I'm telling everybody, you don't know the sequence of anything. Just because somebody releases a video, that doesn't tell you the time or nothing. Because guess what?
Right.
One thing that fucking autopsy report didn't tell you was the time of death, did it? It just said 15 minutes from the blow.
You're right. Yes, you're right.
What's her time of death on the autopsy report?
You're right. What were they doing? Well, and the thing is, when that person started beating on her, she didn't move. When she was on the floor, she didn't move. And she probably was paralyzed at that point. She couldn't move. Listen, she was decapitated from the inside out. So instead of her head being cut off, it was cut off from the inside out. So she couldn't move. She couldn't respond. She couldn't do anything. She couldn't.
Very sickening.
And what was everybody else doing? You're right. Did anybody? I don't think they've asked that question. And here's my thing. How are these people free and where are they? You had 6 people. Where are they at? And why hasn't anyone asked a question to them?
Right there in North Carolina, somewhere hiding out somebody's house. And all the people that's aiding these people, if they are hiding out, not living in their homes, apartments, you're an accessory to these people. And you ought to be very leery in hanging with any of these people because you couldn't come talk to me about a damn thing. And I know you were down there with that girl and aided in her death. You couldn't come to me for shit.
Wow.
Don't even ask.
You're right. This is really creepy. Like it has to come out. It has to come out. Like, where was everybody else? You have several people in the building. And whether it was a fight or whatever, where is everybody else? What role do you play in this situation? Where were you? Like, this is, it's really sad. It's sad. I'll cry for her all day because it's so sad. And she was doing her thing. She had her own businesses. She had a hair braiding business for little kids. She was braiding little kids' hair, doing so many different beautiful styles for little kids. She also had a clothing line business. And she also had a hair business. She used to do hair. She had a hair business. Like, how do you delete somebody like that from your community that's helping your community? You got to be a real hateful.
Do you believe they stole from her or the police stole from her? I wonder if the maid stole too. I think they also stole from her. I don't think they would let anybody get an opportunity to rob her. I think they took whatever they could of value and then packed her stuff and took it back to North Carolina.
They did.
I don't think the police stole any money because you didn't even want to call anybody to come to the room. So why would I think you let her have value for the police to steal?
And I'm going to tell you this.
And how's the police going to steal? We don't even know that the police even came to the fucking villa.
You're right. And the police.
I tell people about making up rumors and stuff. You don't have proof to nothing that went on down there.
Right. And if the police stole money, like, first of all, if the police were even there or called, this is why they kept telling the doctor or the nurse, oh, no, don't take her to the hospital because they knew it was going to get bigger. So that tells me the police were never called. because she would have had to call, more enforcement. So yeah, the police were never called. I don't believe that. I feel that they stalled and they played a game and they lied to deter the medical person that it was something that it wasn't. I don't feel that they were given the right directions. And if the police were ever called, they would have never made it out of Mexico.
Of course.
So they knew what they were doing. That's why they didn't want her to go to the hospital. Because they needed enough time to get out of Mexico.
That's it.
They needed to get out. So they didn't need no more attention being drawn their way. They didn't need X, Y, and Z to happen and this and that. No. And when she sees and she went or whatever, and then when this woman called or whatever, it is what it is, because she felt at that time, oh, I already did what I needed to do. And now they're going to do what they need to do, but we're already out of here because we are covered. We already called the ambulance. We called this person. We called this, and I called the ambulance.
Let's hear what this Sherelle's World have to say about a boyfriend giving some type of commentary. Let's hear what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. This is for information purposes only. Thank you very much. Let me see what this girl has to say here. Wait a minute.
According to the rumors, these rumors were started by Shanquella's ex-boyfriend, not her current boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, Ricky Callion. He's actually been going around saying that there has been an arrest made in the case. One of the Cabo Six have been arrested. According to him, he didn't know which one it was. He's actually doing interviews saying this. Take a listen.
I just think they just made an arrest on one of them too. So.
Oh, they just made the arrest?
Yeah, but they just made me give you a more. You can call. So I was like, fuck it, I guess he's the first person I reach out to. Why not?
Okay. Is it public yet? How about the arrest?
It's about to be like now.
Oh shit. All right, so go ahead. Shit, I'm gonna shut up.
I wanted to talk to you about something. I saw you. I don't know if that was you or not. I was looking at some shit on Facebook or whatnot. I mean, I think I might have been scrolling through my Instagram. You were just saying all types of shit that I was going through my head. I'm like, damn, it's crazy. It's like something. It's crazy how this man, you know what I'm saying, know what the fuck going through my head. You know what I'm saying? Just little shit like that though. But
right. Can I just ask you a question off rip? Because I have to let you know. Is it okay to record right now or not? Let me know, and I will not do it. Since we already on the phone, and whatever you want taken out, I will do it. That's how I get down.
It don't matter, man. It don't matter. I'm in good spirit right now. I say fuck it. I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna get an understanding first and let's talk about it.
Now, as you can see, not only is he granting interviews, but he gave the interviewer permission to record it. Now, according to the family, this is all lies. According to the family, he's an ex-boyfriend of Shanquella, pretending to be the current boyfriend. And so Gerald Jackson from the North Carolina beat had to come out and deny his claims.
Listen, I wanted to come on just for a couple of minutes because I wanted to address some other things that have been circulating online, and I want to let you guys know. The first thing is that there are no suspects in custody in the murder of 25-year-old Charlotte native Shanquella Robinson. No one has been arrested yet. There is an arrest warrant, meaning that a warrant has been issued for whoever the warrant has been issued for. However, that person has not yet been, arrested. Okay. FBI has not released any information that they have a suspect in custody. It would be their duty to make the arrest and extradite the suspect back to Mexico. Okay? There are no suspects in custody. So whatever you're seeing online, it is false information. It is fake news. Okay? And the problem is, how y'all know that someone is in custody, but the family don't know? They have not been contacted and told that they have someone in custody, or the person that the arrest warrant was issued for is in custody. They have not been told that. Just to let you guys know, Shanquella Robinson's boyfriend, current boyfriend, does not have social media. He has not spoken out. The young man that you all see on social media that was at the funeral with dreads or plaits or whatever's in his head, the pink suit, or that's been speaking on YouTube, he's the ex-boyfriend of Shanquella. He wasn't Shanquella's boyfriend at the time of her passing. And the family has communicated to me that they have not been notified about any suspect being in custody. Okay? Just want to let you guys know that no suspect has been in custody. No suspect is in custody. Trust and believe. If there was a suspect in custody, it would be all over the news right now. Now, I did see, yes, no one has been arrested yet. I did see that there was an outlet out of Los Angeles, and I'm sure they misspoke. But yeah, I'm sure they misspoke. I believe it's ABC 7 out of LA, Southern LA or something. They misspoke, doing their little segment. There have been no arrests. Trust and believe. If there was an arrest, and the person who Mexico issued this warrant for, if there was an arrest, it would be on the NCB. It will be all over the world right now. It will be flooded. There's been no arrest.
He would go on to say that the family was really, really hurt by what the ex-boyfriend was doing. He's been posting on the internet as if he was the current boyfriend. He's been giving crazy interviews as if he was the current boyfriend. He's also saying things like there was allegedly money stolen from Shanquella. Now, Gerald would go on to clear that up. He says that there was no stolen money. There has been no stolen money that the family has known of.
Okay,
I've heard these rumors too. They stole $6,000 from Shanquella. They stole $10,000 from Shanquella. The Mexican authorities stole $17,000 from Shanquella. One of my callers came in and made a very good point. You're not allowed to bring cash over the border.
I figured that.
Especially in the sum of $16,000.
$16,000, exactly.
So I think everybody needs to calm down.
Yes, I agree.
Really, really bad for Shanquella.
I agree.
Can she trust anybody?
Yeah.
Now this no good ex, I feel like he's looking for his 15
minutes of fame, yes.
I feel like the world has really taken this story into their hearts, and they truly want to find justice for Shanquella. But with that being said, we have to let it run its due process. This is not going to be a quick, easy fix. It's going to take time. And as of now, the FBI have actually not come out and said anything. We just had the Mexican officials come out and say that a warrant was issued for someone's arrest, allegedly it's Dejanay, in Mexico. But other than that, they really haven't spoke on it either. So everyone, please kind of pipe down. Let's not get so involved in these rumors, and let justice take its course, run its course naturally, because we can't make them go any faster. And I'm sure both sides, the Charlotte FBI and the Mexican officials, are really working diligently in this case. They both want to see justice, put it that way. And to Shanquella's ex, shame on you. What are you doing? Like, using her tragedy for your 15 minutes?
Tragedy pimp.
You gotta cut it out. You gotta cut it out. She still has a family that is mourning the loss of their daughter. And they don't have any real answers just yet, and they haven't seen any justice. So pipe down, Ricky. I just wanted to come in, update you guys on that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How terrible. Let me know, how terrible do you think this is? This is absolutely ridiculous. What do you think the ex was thinking? This is a lot, people. It's a lot. And I have a feeling information is going to roll out slowly. Now that the FBI is involved, they don't show you their hand, and they don't tell you what they're doing because they don't have to.
Exactly.
Their job is to solve the case, not keep social media informed of their plans. So as of now, all we know is there was an arrest warrant issued in Mexico, and that Mexico has filed for extradition. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, don't forget to do that. Don't forget to click that like button. It really helps my video. And I will.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. This is courtesy of Sherelle's World. You heard a Mr. Gerald Jackson speaking on this NC Beat. If you want to follow his content and her content, I think it's very interesting that it was said in this commentary that there are many rumors circulating that the woman had different amounts of money. The Mexican authorities took her money, blah, blah, blah. Here she is saying that the parents have no information that any money was taken from her. And the first thing I said to myself is that I could not imagine her carrying that amount of money overseas, either on her purses, in her purse. I just couldn't see it, especially going to Mexico of all places. I just could not see that. 2, if anyone used a debit card, Cash App card, it will show where they bought the items. And 9 times out of 10, there would be surveillance if it was possibly a decent place that had surveillance cameras. Now, I do not know how they conduct business over in Mexico as far as security cameras in certain establishments, but I would think they would spend their money in a decent place that would have surveillance cameras. Getting the footage will possibly be the issue, and also dealing with the Mexican authorities, because we know how much corruption is in Mexico. That's why you have to think, diligently about the places that you travel. In a worst case scenario, are you going to be able to get help rendered to you in a foreign country? Many people have left America to go abroad and never return. That's why you need to reconsider or consider the places that you travel and where you spend your money. Now that we know that allegedly no money has been spent via the family saying they haven't seen any discrepancies, because naturally they've probably called the bank where she has a debit card, credit card, and asked for transactions of said monies and purchases. We're going to go with that and leave that be. As far as this ex-boyfriend pretending to be the current boyfriend, you are despicable, and you're like a lot of internet junkies. You are insecure with yourself. You don't have anything better to do. You're walking around trying to get 5 minutes of fame and talking to people as if you've got the 411 and the goods to give information, when you didn't even know that nobody has even been arrested yet. A warrant has been issued. Not an actual person has been taken in. They haven't even released the name yet. Some of you are putting out the certain girl's name, but no one has mentioned her name in any legal document on the news. So you're releasing her name by assumption because people have ID'd her as the first perpetrator in the video assaulting Shanquella Robinson. So yes, the rumors need to stop. And this is where social media becomes very dangerous, is that you people don't know when to stop meddling. You don't want to stop intervening into cases that don't have anything to do with you. And because you know the victim, now you want 5 minutes of fame by spreading rumors. You have to be a very vile person to spread a rumor about a dead person. So to me, you're no different than the people that beat her up down there, ex-boyfriend. Immature, stupid, and ignorant. So who is the boyfriend currently that she's dating or was dating? What does he have to say about who she was as a person, what she was thinking and feeling before she left on a trip? What did they talk about? What was her demeanor before she left North Carolina? Did she have reservations about going down there? I'd also like clarification by her family on what she actually paid for the trip. Did she pay for the villa or partially for the villa? Did she pay for her own tickets to and fro round trip? That is what I would like to have verified. But as you heard in this commentary, the parents have not seen any discrepancies of any large lump sums of cash money being stolen pertaining to their child. And I can't see no one carrying that kind of money to Mexico just for a couple of days. That seems very idiotic and quite dangerous to have that lump sum of money with you. Because frankly, I wouldn't trust having it on my persons. I wouldn't trust leaving it in the hotel room. And I wouldn't even trust leaving it at the hotel in a security box. Because who's to say that when you decide to go back to say, hey, I need to get what I have out that security box, somebody plays dumb and act like, oh, I don't know, and we lost the key, and oh, you ain't got nothing in there, and you go in there checking whatever you put in there is missing. So you have to be very careful when you're traveling abroad with your jewels and jewelry, cash, because many Americans have been robbed. Many people from all over the world have been robbed traveling. That's why you have to be careful when going out of town, out of state, because there's always somebody on the take. And sadly, this young lady was on the take by the people she was with. Even if they didn't steal from her, they robbed her of her life. The brutality against her exacted by these so-called friends led to her death. So what they stole from her was way more valuable than a credit card, debit card, cash app, money, jewelry, pocketbook, whatever. Her whole life was snuffed out by people she thought she could trust. Now, I don't know if she really thought she could trust some of the people on the trip, but it's neither here nor there. It's too late. You can't take it back. She can't take it back. At what point was she incapacitated on this trip? When perpetrator number one assaulted her, was she incapacitated at that moment sitting on the floor? What did they do to her round one to aid or help? What was said to her? When was the next time that somebody came and assaulted her after perpetrator number one? Who was perpetrator number two? Who was perpetrator number three? That is being alleged that there were 3 females that physically assaulted her. What is the truth? Is there a video number 2 that is valid showing her being assaulted by a so-called winter that allegedly called at 5 o'clock to render aid? So you don't even know what's the truth. Because when you have rumors that money's being stolen, officials stole money, they stole money, a doctor came on the scene, was there under 4 hours, which makes no logical sense that someone would stay with a person that's dwindling from life. That's ridiculous. This is a very sick and macabre story of a young woman going out of town, overseas to have fun, enjoy herself, and the people she went with caused her demise. It can't get any worse than this. It's one thing if she had went on the trip and got hurt by somebody in Mexico that was Mexican, or another visitor at the villa, kidnapped, raped, assaulted. She was assaulted by the people she actually conspired for the trip. That's worse. Because my thing is, if you all hated her so much, why didn't you hurt her while you all were in the United States? Why did you wait to go on this trip to flip out on her? What was said so terrible by this woman that you had the nerve and gall to beat her up? Even when you saw she did not want to fight, you continued hitting her. And then they're alleging that other females hit her as well. So I want to know if the first assault is what caused the vertebrae and the neck damage. Or did somebody else come in after perpetrator number one and exact damage to the spine and the neck? Because it's easy to look at a video and say, well, she looked paralyzed there. She looked incapacitated there. But you don't really know if the video's cut. The only people that know the truth are the people that were on the trip. And as I asked you all, what were they doing after she was assaulted? How long was she assaulted? Is the autopsy report correct? She died 15 minutes after sustaining the spinal and neck injury. Because if that is true, then that means everything that has been repeated about a nurse practitioner, doctor is a lie. And nobody was there aiding her. No ambulance came. No doctor came. It is all fictitious. It's all fake. And then you'd have to ask yourself, if a doctor never came, why are they making up this information? And why is that circulating in the news that someone came from some medical facility to render aid? And that the one person that allegedly also jumped on her by the name of Winter, allegedly called at 5 p.m. to get her help. Because at this point, she was holding on to life under an hour. And why even call when you know you and your friends are the source of her injuries? You caused the injuries. So why even call 911 or get her help? Did she die at the villa or did she die in a hospital? What is the truth to the doctor's role in this crime? Did she administer help to the victim? And why didn't she bypass their assertions of her having alcohol poisoning? Why didn't this doctor call 911 to say this woman is in dire need? She needs an ambulance. She needs medical care ASAP. She's not responding. She's not talking. Who all participated in the assaults against Shanquella Robinson? What were they doing while she was assaulted? Time number one. If it happened 2 or 3 more times, what were all participants doing in the house at the time of the assaults, if these allegations are true? Why did these people stand around to allow her to be assaulted? Time number one. Was this an orchestrated plan to harm her or embarrass her? All of the above on this trip. Was there a plan before they went down to Mexico to hurt her? Well, Deborah, you can die within 3 to 4 minutes of suffocation. Just depends on the victim. This is a sick story. I say this to the young people because they tend to have more problems with friendships than people who are older sometimes. Know the company that you're keeping. If you're around people who like to throw daggers, slick talk, smart comments, always have something nasty to say, out of the way, always got a sick joke to spin at your expense, cut them loose. If they have something nasty to say every time they talk to you, they're always trying to embarrass you in public in front of people, never have any kind word, cut them loose. If you're an older person, such as myself, you're in the company of people that don't never have anything nice to say, they have negative things to say every time they hold a conversation with you, cut them loose as well. Save yourself the heartache and pain of something jumping off down the road because you don't know how you're going to react when a person keeps throwing daggers at you. So to keep you from popping off, going to jail, or worst case scenario, them harming you, just cut them loose. Block, delete, and keep it moving. Life is short. Prayers to the Robinson family. Prayers to all people who possibly don't have good judgment in their courtships with people. And that's the flip side of dealing with people. You don't know the day that somebody is going to pop off, plan something sinister at your expense because you don't know people. She has already been buried in North Carolina. But the signs were possibly there that these people were not her friends. And I got a feeling that all these other people that were there were people that she possibly knew of, but they weren't besties. And the guy filming was no friend of hers. That's obvious. Because he basically was questioning why she wasn't fighting back. And I'm sure many people were questioning, why didn't she fight back? I don't know. I don't know her. Everybody does different things. But the guy filming, you were never a friend to her. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And all of you should be ashamed of yourself for going to the mother's house to talk to her and spin lies about what happened down in that villa. And whatever happened in that villa, as far as an altercation verbally, disagreement on finances, services, all that could have been avoided and squashed, because you all are now adults and you need to learn how to conduct yourself as adults. But we see now that you do not know how to conduct yourselves. That is the reason why you fought that girl and watched her die in that villa. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, all of you. You're despicable human beings. And I have I feel nothing for you. I have no pity for you. And you all deserve whatever you get. And if they give you 5 years in a prison, 10, I'm sure it will be nothing like being in prison here in the United States. Because I know they don't have the amenities that we have here in the United States. And if you died down there in the prison, it wouldn't bother me none, because you didn't care anything about Shanquella and you watched that girl die. And I got a feeling you either watched her die or you walked off and did your thing until there was no longer breath in her. It's all the same to me. Know the company that you keep. First time you hear slick talk, remove yourself. Do not take trips with people you do not know. Have an understanding if you take a trip with somebody that you do know, as far as expenses, who's paying for what, expectations on the trip. If you're dealing with people that you know act funny, you act funny, do not go anywhere with them. Get your own room. No villas, no Airbnbs. Get your own hotel room or get your own private Airbnb. Do not share domains with one another. Set a time to meet up in public, to do public things. At the end of the day and night, when you are done, you go your separate way. That is to keep down confusion and any misunderstandings. Because I got a feeling had they all had their own separate hotel rooms, there wouldn't have been no malfunction. Some of you believe this was a setup. I do not know. But these people are vile. So in the end, it won't even matter if it was a setup before going down there or planned when they got there. They're vile, period. The demon seeds, spawns. They have no regard for human life. And the sick part is that she hung with these people in some form or another, was in their company, and she died. All of them need to be arrested. Every single one of them. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. It is the holiday season. Please be aware. Going out shopping, please keep all parcels in the trunk, not on the seats or the floorboards. Do not throw away boxes at the garbage can or outside of your house near your garbage cans. As to not let the thieves know what you have bought and the neighbors know what you have purchased. Do not post your purchases to social media. Be careful when traveling not to post your whereabouts on social media. This is how people's houses are robbed. You do not want to go out of town and come home to see your door open and all your things gone and in disarray. If you cannot be home to receive packages from FedEx, UPS, notify somebody who can go to your house to pick up your packages. Or if you trust a neighbor to pick up your package, please do so. Invest in security cameras if you can afford them. Ask to keep an eye out on your property to know who's coming and going in case of thefts and for security reasons. If you have to shop at night during the holiday season, please go in a group or with several people. Do not fumble for keys in the parking lot and or at your car. Have your keys already ready before you walk out of the store, as to not have to fumble for them. People are watching you in the stores. People are watching you in parking lots. Please be aware of your surroundings. You do not want to be a victim of crime. Thank you all so much for following the content. Thank you for the super stickers. And once again, if you'd like to donate to Everyday Shenanigans, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats and stickers are welcome during my live. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow I will bring you a crime vault video. This commentary will be pertaining to an older crime that has happened here in the U.S. And my topic for tomorrow is Ted Bundy. We will go back in time to dissect the most infamous serial killer in America, how it came to be that Ted Bundy became this notorious small figure to later become a serial killer. Please go to my community page to take the said polls pertaining to crime, murder. Some may think it's macabre, but I put those polls up for a reason, because there are lots of people who are committing crimes today. And perhaps they don't want to be a killer, a murderer, but they do become one. So I put those polls up to ask you, honestly, could you hurt or harm, take the life of another human being? Knowledge is key. And I put those polls up because of the Walmart shooter in Virginia. What drove this man to kill those associates in the break room and the store? Have you ever considered taking a life yourself out of anger? I think people need to know that many people do contemplate murder, because you can't have true crime without wondering why. Why did he do it? Why did she do it? That's why I asked the question, and some of you were kind enough to oblige me and answer and took the poll. As I said earlier in this live, what is there to be offended by? Because people kill every day. And most people do ask, well, why did he do it? Why did she do it? So the queen asks the viewing audience, have you ever contemplated murder? Have you ever been angry enough to kill another human being? Maybe if we learned about the human mind, the psyche, people will realize, I've been there. I don't want to be there, don't want to get there, but I've been there. And I stopped myself because of this reason or that one. Take the poll if you want to see what others are thinking and realize that some people have been in your shoes, thought like you, been on that journey of anger, but did not cross over to madness. Amen. Thank you all so much for following the content. God bless all of you. Happy weekend to everybody. Happy holidays. Please be safe. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you for your time. Prayers to the Robinson family. Amen. And justice for Shanquella Robinson. Amen.